I decided to play every single character in Tekken 8 to figure out who the most fun characters are to play, and in this video, I'll be giving my ranking of every character from the most fun to the least fun. I played each character for a minimum of 3 hours, and ended up playing some characters for way longer. So while 3 hours obviously isn't enough to get to know everything about a character, I think that amount of time is enough to figure out if you like the character and if they're fun to you. But again, a lot of these characters I spent way more time with. This list will be subjective, of course, very subjective, as everyone finds different characters fun for different reasons. I base my rankings on a variety of things, including their basic game plan and playstyle, how satisfying their moves are to hit, visual and sound design, how much I like their combos, their personality, and probably way more factors subconsciously. Anyway, this list will be fully unordered, and feel free to let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and who you guys think are the most and least fun characters. And let's get into the video. Alright, so this is all going to be unordered, of course. I'll start with Kazuya himself. One of the most fun characters I've just had the experience of playing. I put a lot more time into him than a lot of other characters, and something about his character, it's like it's simplicity, but like it's super responsive. His design is amazing, obviously. His voice lines are amazing. All of his moves, like they just feel super good to hit. I love the new Demon Paw and Hell Sweep, like the little animation they have. Overall, the 50-50 game plan, it's super cool. His combos are like amazing to hit. Obviously, any character with an electric, I'm gonna rank as most fun, because like it's just pure satisfaction playing this character. So he's definitely one of the most fun characters in the game for me personally. Jin, same deal. He's kind of a little bit different than Kazuya. He plays a more like standard like counter hit baiting game. He's less about the 50-50. Still has the electric. I still really like his combos. I think he's like insanely flashy in this game. Even though his heat smash is like pretty mid, the animation for it's one of my favorite. It's like one of the coolest things you can do. Super flashy. I love the Demon Paw. All his moves like hit really hard. He has really good poking, which I'm a really big fan of. Down 2 is just like an awesome low to hit. I don't know, everything about this character is he feels just so fun and so like responsive to me. Paul is a character who I played him a lot more in Tekken 7. In Tekken 8, I haven't been playing him as much. He could go up here. I think he's a little bit less fun for me personally than these two. I don't know, something about him in Tekken 8, I'm just not that big of a fan. It feels like and maybe this might just be because he's like kind of weak compared to some other characters, but it just feels like every other character just has like sauce in this game, and Paul's just lacking that. Now, obviously, Death Fists are always going to be insanely fun to land, but I don't know, something about him, like some of his animations, like I feel like some of his animations feel pretty outdated. His general game plan is still good. It's just like, yeah, counter hits, look for down forward 2, look for back sway 4. But yeah, he's still a really fun character. Obviously, his combos are like super satisfying to hit. I love his like his new attitude. The hair is kind of bad. The hair probably sets him back a little bit, but yeah, definitely very fun. He could be up there for sure. It's hard to say for sure. Law is probably around here. I'm not actually the biggest fan of Law. This is going to be my first hot take, I guess. I know a lot of people like him. I'm not a fan of what they did with him in this game. I liked him in Tekken 7 a lot more. They simplified him a little bit too much, in my opinion. I don't like that the new stance is like super easy to, or not the new stance, but the stance is like super easy to do now. They removed almost all execution barriers. The slide's easy to do really quickly now. But, I mean, his moves are still good. His voice, I'm actually, personally, I know this is blasphemy. I'm not a big fan of his voice, but yeah, he's like a fun standard character. Again, I liked him a lot more in Tekken 7. He felt a lot more fluid in that game, but he's super strong and super like fun to play. Lots of satisfying buttons. So if you think he's really fun to play, I could definitely see that. Lars is probably going to be around here. Lars is another character I've spent, like these four, I've spent a lot of time with. Law is only like 3 hours maybe, but Lars, I really like him. I really like what they did with him. The new, what is it, forward 3-3, super satisfying to hit. It's like Ken's, like, I don't even know what it is, like a dragon kick? I don't know what it's called, but where he just homing, he just blasts forward, and he goes into stance. His stance pressure is super satisfying. I love what they did with him with the sparks, like the electric sparks everywhere. That's awesome. Like they did such a good, like looking at him in this game compared to Tekken 7. And I'm not to say that like the character's visuals matters, like it doesn't matter like completely, but it is like pretty important. And I like electric effects on everything. Everything feels super satisfying. I really love his voice. Yeah, I think they did such a good job with him. Just a little bit lower than some of these characters, just because like, yeah, like stance pressure isn't like my super preferred thing. If I am going to go for stance pressure, I'd prefer a character like Reina, who we'll talk about later. But yeah, overall, I can't complain too much. I really like this character in this game. He's super fun to play. Jack is probably going to be around here. Definitely a fun character for sure. Not my particular style. I do like that he kind of plays like a more 2D game, like very strong backdash, great poking, huge range. Not the biggest fan of that. I do like that they gave him the rushdown like 50-50 in this game with the new the Gamma stance. That's really cool, even though it's like it is kind of falling off as people like discover counterplay. Super satisfying to hit. I love his voice lines. His voice lines alone almost make me want to put him up here. Like it's super fun, super satisfying to hear a lot of them when you get like the guard break and you do the heat smash. But yeah, it's like a little simple for me. Not the biggest fan of just like his general like low poke, mid poke. Oh, like he's very fundamental based. But if I am going to go for a fundamental-based character, I'd prefer like someone like more like Paul or Jin. But yeah, he is cool. It's just big characters are never that fun for me. Especially like, I don't know, he's like a very different style. But yeah, he's definitely a fun character for sure. June is probably around here. Honestly, I haven't really been having that much fun with this character recently. I gave her an honest shot. I did a guide. I tried to like actually really learn her. It just feels too much, like her heat smash. I hate her heat smash. Even when I use it, I feel guilty for using it. I don't know, it's less satisfying to hit than like Devil Jin's. A lot of her string, like just tons of strings, lots of like setups like that. It's just not really my thing for a character. So I'd probably put her actually here, like less fun than average. She is cool, and like she is like there is like an element of fun to it, but like definitely not my thing. Like these kind of characters, I gravitate towards characters with like a lot of her stuff doesn't feel super flashy. Her animations, her strings, they just don't like appeal to me personally. It's like, it's a really weird thing. It's like, it's hard to explain for fun because everyone finds different characters fun for different reasons. But I don't know, something about her kits. I'm not a big fan of her design, honestly. I prefer her Tag 2 design. I'm not the biggest fan of, her animations. The like losing life thing, I'm not a big fan of it. And yeah, she's a little bit too overtuned. But yeah, she's, like I said, less fun than average is still fun. You can still have a lot of fun with her, just like personally. Xiaoyu surprised me. Xiaoyu might be up here. Now listen, I hate this character. I hated fighting her. But after giving her a chance, I'm actually like pleasantly surprised with what they did with her. I'm pleasantly surprised in terms of like how it feels to play her. Playing against her is hell. But playing as her, I was like surprised. Like a lot of her pressure going into AOP, like there's a novelty to it. It actually feels surprisingly fun. Just like all these crazy mix-ups, the hypnotist stance, I think it's like really fun. I don't know, a lot of her buttons feel like really satisfying. The evasion, yeah, I was actually surprised. I had a lot more fun with Xiaoyu than I thought. Still not gonna pick up this character probably, but I don't know. I don't know, for some, like these two characters are similar. They're both like super strong right now. But I don't know, Xiaoyu, her hits just feel a little bit more satisfying. I like the evasion. AOP and Hypnotist are just like really fun stances to use, even though they feel broken. Yeah, I don't know. Just comparing her to June, I just guess her strings and her setups just feel like they have more like weight to them, I guess. It's really hard to say. But yeah, I had a lot more fun with her than I expected. Yeah, a lot more fun. Leroy, I did not have fun with. For some reason, something about this character, I really just don't like how he plays. The Hermit stance, I hate the Hermit stance. I think it looks stupid. The whole like Win Chow thing, like the Ip Man, like tons of punches. I'm really just not a big fan of that playstyle. It doesn't feel super satisfying to me to just like do like 1,000 punches on someone's block over and over. Really not my kind of thing. It doesn't help that he's super weak. Generally, I guess if you're like going to spend like 3 hours with a character, if they're weaker, you're probably going to lose a lot more and it's going to be more of a struggle. Yeah, his whole thing revolves around parries, but you can't parry a lot of stuff, like the heat burst. So, yeah, really not my kind of character. But I liked him more in Tekken 7. Obviously, he feels like a shadow of his former self. His orbital doesn't feel as fun to use. A lot of his stance pressure is gone. Yeah, definitely not as interesting to me. And another character who's not as interesting to me is Asuka. I've personally never liked her. She's a little bit better in 8 in terms of like her moves having like more of a punch. I like her combos as well a little bit more. But I don't know, her general playstyle, I really like the Chipmunk playstyle, back 3. I'm not a fan of her poking. I'm not a fan of her parries. Like it's just it doesn't. If something about it just doesn't feel satisfying to me. Really not my kind of character. I hate her design too. I think she looked a lot better in Tekken 6 and 5, but these days I'm really not a fan of her design either. I guess I like Leroy's design. He's like a really cool design, but like these two, I wasn't a super big fan of the design. Not much to say. I'm just really not a fan of the way she plays. It's not. It's definitely not for me. But you know, everyone has different preferences. You know, Lili, I liked. Actually, I might put Lili up here. I had a lot more fun with Lili than I was expecting. This is another character who I always hated when playing against her, but when trying her, I don't know, she feels a lot of her, like her hops and her skips feel super satisfying to hit. I like her back turn. Her back turn to me feels a lot better than a lot of other characters' back turn, like was it Law? There's a lot of characters with back turns, but I don't know. So a lot of her anime, I like her combos a lot. I like her poking. Like, it seems like she plays like more fundamental, but like with super privileged fundamental gameplay. Her movement, having good movement's really important for me. She has super good movement. I don't know. I was actually pleasantly surprised with this character. I was not expecting to like her at all. Something about it. I think it's just her combos. Yeah, I really like her combos. I like her poking. I don't know. It just her back, or her like her low strings, her back sway pressure, or not back sway, back turn pressure. I don't know. It always just felt really good to me. So yeah, it's just, I'm going off of instinct here for this list. It's not going to be like the most amount of logic, but Hwoarang, not a big fan. I've never liked this character, in my opinion. This is one of the characters where like I hate playing against him so much that it kind of like butchered my experience playing as them. There is a novelty to like doing the strings, like hit. It is a little bit fun. It's pretty dopamine inducing when you're going about that. So yeah, there's definitely a novelty to it. Kind of fun. Really not my playstyle though. Just like super mashy strings, mix up your strings like this. Pressure is like not really my thing, but I do like his design in this game. Bryan. I love Bryan. I love this character. I've always loved this character. Huge respect for any Bryan players. I love what they did with the Snake Eyes in this game. While he does feel a little bit underwhelming compared to some other Tekken 8 characters, it's just Bryan. It's like, he's like Paul, but he got a little bit more like updates in Tekken 8 to make him feel a little... I think Bryan feels more modern than Paul. Paul kind of feels like stuck behind. Bryan kind of feels stuck behind, but to a lesser extent. He does have the Snake Eyes. A lot of his pressure, a lot of the charge-up moves are like super cool. Taunt back 4, I've been practicing that just for fun. So obviously it's like really hard, but like, I don't know, I like this character. This character just has like such a huge skill ceiling. I'm really into that kind of stuff. Plays around counter hits, like baiting your opponent. I love his design. His Rage Art's one of my favorites in the game. His design's like a big factor too. I really love Bryan. One of those characters I super love. Claudio is honestly less fun than he was in Tekken 7. I liked him a lot more in Tekken 7. He just feels like kind of dumbed down. That's not to say he's bad. A lot of his things are super fun to hit. Like his while running 2 is way more satisfying to hit these days. I miss the, is it the down back 2-2? Whatever the low launcher was while you're in Starburst. I feel like the heat, because Starburst is always enabled when you're in heat, it kind of like lowers how cool it would feel to get Starburst. Like, it doesn't really matter now because you can just Heat Burst and just get it whenever you want, right? But yeah, he's still cool. I like his projectile. His Heat Smash is really cool. Basic Fundy's character. I don't know, something about him. I guess I'm not a huge fan of his design in this game, but I don't know, they did a great job with his effects. Oh, his voice. I preferred his voice, like his does. I prefer them in Tekken 7. That's like a silly reason. But yeah, he's a little bit, I mean, it might be, he feels a little bit weak, but I don't know, it's hard to say for sure. He does have like some strong Fundy tools. I don't know, just like what I'm personally looking for in a character. If I'm going to play like a Fundies based character, I'd rather go for like, yeah, a Paul, Bryan, Jin over Claudio. Maybe it's his design, maybe it's his new voice, maybe it's like a bunch of moves that I really liked, like were taken away. Also his combos, I like his combos more in Tekken 7. They don't feel as hard hitting in this game, even though the while running 2 definitely does feel as hard hitting. So it's hard to say for sure. It's hard to say for sure. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you guys are enjoying this and want to support my dream of hopefully one day doing YouTube as a job, please consider subscribing. It's free to do and it really goes such a long way. Anyway, back to the video. Raven, I had fun playing with him. Actually, it might even be up here. I was surprised with Raven. He was another character who I hadn't really touched until I wanted to try all the characters for this video. He's really cool. I love his pressure. Obviously, his back turn. I love his projectile heat smash. His actually feels like fun to use, unlike June's. I hate June's. Yeah, I like his combos. He's super cool, like visually, like the whole clone thing mid combo, the parry where like the clone jumps up. That's like really cool to me. I like his low. What is it? The low that gives like the effect. I don't know, like the little animation. Super cool. I love this poking, like this combo. Everything about this character. I don't know. It's more just like the shadow clones. I know a lot of people think it's kind of like tacky, but I was a really big fan of that actually. So yeah, thumbs up for Raven. I was surprised. Azucena, I do not like. I'm just not a fan of her overall, her attitude. I always hate characters who she's just dancing. That's just her neutral stance, is just dancing. I hate that. I don't like the Liberator stance at all. I don't like the auto parry. I don't like the wall running 3-2. It just feels kind of cheap. Her strings aren't really fun for me to use. Like, wow, down forward 1-4-1, down forward 1-4-1 plus 2. Like a lot of this, it's kind of like a little bit tacky. Her hell sweep's cool though. Her combos are not that interesting to me. It's more, I feel like it's more, this is more just the character design. I really don't like her character design. I really don't like her voice. A little bit too goofy. As you can tell, I like my my edgy anime men, you know? So, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. Probably my least favorite newcomer. Yeah, probably my least favorite newcomer, unfortunately. Feng Wei, thumbs up. I was actually surprised. This is the first game I've ever actually picked up Feng Wei. I never really touched him too much in Tekken 7. And while he is like pretty ludicrously OP in my opinion, there's something really, really satisfying about it. I love Kenpo. I don't know, for some reason, Kenpo is just like super, super, super fun for me to use. It's one of my favorite stances. I love the evasion. You just like press Kenpo, you're on the other side. I love his, what is it, his up forward too. Super evasive. Evasive characters like that are kind of fun for me. That's why I kind of have Xiaoyu here. But he's like a little bit, this isn't ordered, but he's definitely above probably all these characters as well. I love his new, the new move in Heat that like stuns you. I love, his lows are all really satisfying to hit, even though they're all like super risky. I don't know, he's just really good poking, really good fundamentals. He's just amazing at everything. But yeah, it's the Kenpo, and his combos are pretty cool as well. So yeah, I'm surprisingly, I liked Feng Wei a lot more than I thought I would. Nina is okay. Better than these guys. Yeah, I like Nina more than I thought I would. I'm not a big fan of her playstyle. A lot of her strings like can opener I don't like, but I am a fan of the constant pressure. I kind of like aggressive characters. I think actually I might even put her in the bottom of here, because like compared to like Hwoarang, because like they're like Hwoarang's pressure is just the strings, low string, mix it up, low, high, mid, plus frames. But Nina's pressure is more about the sidestep cancels, which I actually really, really appreciate. Something about just like canceling your pressure into sidesteps for plus frames and just keep going. I don't know, it felt really, really rewarding to me. So I enjoyed Nina a lot more than I thought I would, to be honest. A lot more than I thought I would. So it's more just that. Her combos are pretty cool. I like the gun for pressure. Not a big fan of her design in this game, but yeah, she'd be like the top of here, bottom of here. I'll keep her here for now, but I might move her up. I could definitely argue moving her up. Reina, wow, probably the most fun character I've played. This is one character who I played her. I did a guide on her, didn't touch her for a while, decided to pick her back up for this video, and ended up playing her for way longer than I thought it would. I was super, super surprised. What a fun character. Like, they nailed it out of the park. I love her design. Her animations are like some of the most satisfying animations to hit in the game. Like her forward 2, forward 2, 3, forward 2, 4, a lot of her stuff. Her electric is my favorite electric in the game. In terms of the sound effect and the design, the yellow electric, I love it. Her wave dash has like a lightning sparks. I love her stance, even her cartwheel stuff, which I usually wouldn't like. I'm a really, really, really big fan of. I love her hell sweep, her pressure. Like, this is how you do a stance-based character. I like her more than Lars, a lot more. But yeah, wow, I was super surprised. Amazing movement, which I always really like. She's relevant in the story. I love her voice, her attitude. Reina was one of the most fun characters. I was super surprised. Victor probably gets a thumbs down from me. And I'd probably put him in here. There's a novelty to it. I like his voice. It's kind of like funny. Explosion, all the French stuff. His combos are really, really satisfying to hit. Obviously, the up plus 2 Explosion is like super ridiculous right now. I do like, it is pretty satisfying, his Power Crush heat engagers. He, in my opinion, has the best heat engagers in the game. Super, super fast. What is it? Back 1 plus 2. The one where like he goes back and like does the knife super fast. I really like his low. His down back 4, kind of like Lars's. Yeah, he's probably more fun than average. It's just I'm not a big fan of the player base of this character and like how they go about playing him. But most of his strings are like highs, so his strings aren't that good. I don't know. Yeah, I had a decent time with Victor. We wouldn't be a character I'd actually like be willing to pick up, but so maybe here, because like I'd probably be willing to pick up some of these characters. But yeah, Victor, he's definitely fun on the lower end. Kind of cheap, a little bit cheesy, but I do like his animations. I like his visual design a lot as well. I'm a big fan of his visual design. Yeah, that's all I got for that. What else do we have? King is very fun. Honestly, leaning towards most fun, even though he's cancer to fight against. Again, he's another character where I didn't really touch him in 7. This was one of my first games actually experimenting with King. And wow, his grabs are super fun. You have the crowd cheering ones that do more damage if you do the input fast enough. Super cool. I love his combos. I love the thing where you dash forward with the armor. Super fun to use. His poking is pretty decent. He has like pretty good neutral tools as well, like the plus on block poke that everyone uses. I don't know, I was surprised. I liked him a lot more than I thought. Maybe it's just like the dopamine rush of like hitting a giant swing really quickly. But I don't know, I love his combos. I love his heat smash is ridiculously broken, but super satisfying to use. He has cool fundamental tools. Like, I don't know, he's a really, really cool grappler in this game. I think they did a great job with him, even though everyone hates him. But yeah, I was surprised with how much I like this guy. Dragunov, very, very fun. Another one. I'm super surprised. Super surprised with how much I liked him. Yeah, I was super surprised with Dragunov. He's so much fun. It might just because he's broken, but I don't know, like 130 damage combos. I love it. I love his voice, his animations. While running 2 is like, well, his while running 2 is like way more satisfying to hit than Claudio's. Back 1+2, the hatchet is one of the most, what is it, down back 3+4, one of the most satisfying lows to land in the game. Super, super fun. Down forward 1-4. I don't know, what is it, forward 3? Oh my god, what a fucking crazy status. Does like 15 damage on chip. Huge knockback, +5 on block, the homing move. I don't know, a lot of his moves just feel super satisfying. He has grabs, which are fun to use. His heat smash is one of the most fun heat smashes to use in the game, in my opinion. So yeah, I was a very, very, very big fan of this character. I'm definitely going to play him a lot more. Kuma and Panda, even though I hate these characters and I talk a lot of shit, I can't lie. I do see the appeal. I do see the appeal now. I get why people play these characters. It's so funny having everyone just one and done you, and like I get why they're one and done because it's so bullshit, but it's just so funny. It's just like dancing around just a stupid bear. Specifically Kuma. I didn't really spend much time with Panda. It's the same character anyway. But yeah, he's the electrics now is just a big meme. The hunting stance you mix up with your unbreakable grab, staying on the ground looking to like catch people. Like it's so stupid. This is like you know, you watch a movie and it's so bad you like it. That's like Kuma and Panda. So listen, I know the Panda players hate me, but I get your character now. I get your character now. Okay, I'll go through the back off with some pretty quickly. Yoshi, most fun. Everyone knows this. Even if you hate playing against Yoshi, Yoshi's one of the most fun characters in the game. He's always been one of the most fun characters in the game. It's just the nature of his kit. They did such a great job with him in this game. Even though I hate fighting against him, he's so much fun. I love his new voice. A lot of his new sword moves, the ones that like heal himself. He's the ultimate troll character, and it makes sense why this character has such a loyal fan base. He's very, 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 very fun to play in this game. Another character is the first time I ever decided to, because I hated his design in 7, but in 8, wow, I'm so happy with what they did with him. Another character I love, Deviljin. You'll see all the Mishimas. For me personally, they're my favorite characters to play. His electric is up there with Reina's the most satisfying. I didn't like the new voice at first, but it kind of grew on me. His design is probably one of the best redesigns in the game, up there with like Yoshi. Amazing new redesign. I love his voice. Oh my god, did they hit it out of the park with his voice. His voice is actually just like incredible. Major, major props for Deviljin. I love the 50-50. I love his combos. Super, super flashy. His heat smash is super broken, but I don't know. June, it bothers me, but Deviljin, I love the character design so much. I can get over it pretty easily, you know? There's my full bias. I'll do Alisa. Actually, again, I was pleasantly surprised. This is a character who I absolutely hate. But so I thought I should go in here. But there is a novel. I do get it, Alisa players. There is a novelty to playing this character and just like going from one side of the screen to the other instantly and using your chainsaw attacks. Honestly, I might even put her in here. It's like I didn't expect to like this character, and I would never play her, but I don't know. I was just super surprised. It's just like pure dopamine, just rushing in, chainsaw string. I mean, of course it's bullshit, and it's super cheap, but I get why people play Alisa now. Like it is fun. It is kind of similar to the bear situation. It's like pure dopamine. Even though I kind of hate her design, but her combos are cool. I like her pressure. It's like it's fun. This is the epitome of like super fun to play against, but horrendous. Like you want to end your life playing against her. She's the epitome of that character philosophy. So she'd probably either go in here or the bottom of here, but I'll put her in very fun. Why not, you know? Leo, I just am not personally a big fan of this character. I don't really like their design. I don't really like their stance. Something about their animations just doesn't feel super good to me. I just really didn't vibe with this character. It's probably one of those characters who I need to put a lot more time into, because keep in mind, I only did like about 3-4 hours on each character, so Leo's definitely a character I could spend more time with. I don't know, I don't like the stance transitions very much. I don't really like the way they do their pressure. Just not a super big fan at all. I don't like the voice lines. I don't really like their design either. I don't know, it's just me personally. I know a lot of people like this character. Just didn't feel very fun to me, personally. Shaheen did feel very fun to me. Wow, I talk about this a lot. I'm so surprised with how much I like this character. Like super surprised. Because everyone talks about how bland he is, and like, yeah, in terms of like a personality, yeah, he doesn't have much. But in terms of his gameplay, wow, I love what they did, the whole wind thing in this game. He feels super honest, but he also has like a ton of like super satisfying moves to hit. I love the new slide follow-up now. I love his, what is it, the new move in Heat. Like he like jumps down with like a wind strike. I love that. His combos are really, really cool. Wow, I'm super surprised with how much I loved playing Shaheen. Super surprised. Steve, same thing. Oh, actually, Steve's not the same thing. I wasn't super surprised. I always knew I would like Steve. Even though he feels kind of weak in this game, I am going to make a video on why I don't agree with a lot of the changes they made to Steve recently, but I like the Peekaboo is really fun, Lionheart's really fun, I like his stances, boxing aesthetic. I hate his voice, actually. Honestly, you could argue his new voice lowers him down here. I really, really, really do not like his voice, but, and that contributes to it a little bit, but, I don't know, all of his moves are, like, pretty fun to do. Not the most flashy character, but, I don't know, like, the whole boxer aesthetic, I love how unique he is with the, only using punches, like, I don't know, it's really cool to me. I like it a lot. Lee is a character who is super hard for me to say. He's probably between fun and very fun, but he's one of those characters who's like so incredibly difficult. And unlike other difficult characters who I already had a background with, like Bryan and the Mishimas, I didn't really have a background with Lee. So obviously, while in Heat, you get the Just Frame stuff, so he's a little bit more newcomer friendly, but he feels super, super, super difficult. He feels like a character you could spend like years like analyzing. So it was kind of really difficult for me to play him as someone who had never touched the character before. But probably between here and here, this is like one of the only characters. This is the only character who I don't have a lot to say about because I was just unsure with the amount of time I spent with him. He seems pretty cool, kind of. Some of his moves are pretty satisfying. It's satisfying to hit one of his just frames. Marvelous. A lot of his stuff is like that. He has really good keep outs. Really, really strong fundamental tools. Kind of an all-rounder. He'd probably be between here and here, but yeah, excuse me for this one. I honestly, this is the one character who I'd probably need to put in like another 3 or 4 hours to give you an accurate description. Zafina is actually fun. I like what they did with her in this game. I wasn't a big fan of her in 7. I like her new redesign. I like her voice. I'd put her up here, honestly. I was surprised with how much fun I had with her. Even though, again, she's pretty cancer to play against. Super fun, super satisfying. Her stances are like really weird, but I think like the whole like, I don't know, like her like sagging around on the ground, like a scarecrow stance. Like it makes her interesting. Like there's not many other characters in fighting games like her. I think that's why she always, even though she's not really played, people really, really like her. So I was really surprised the whole like Azazel thing. Like I don't know, she's really cool, really, really cool. And this is a character who I'm actually considering putting more time into because I think she might actually be better than people think. But I'll save that for another video. But yeah, I was surprised with how much I enjoyed her general gameplay. I like her combos, I like her pokes, I like her stances, just like a very unique fighting game character. But yeah, this is my list. Hopefully you guys don't hate me. It is just my opinion. I said earlier, everyone finds different characters fun for different reasons, so chill. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your favorite characters to play? What are your least favorite characters to play? And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy. Bye.